On my wedding night, my cousin, Megan, strangely asked to borrow 3 strands of my hair. Under the guise of bringing good fortune, she took my 3 strands of hair, stealing my luck and leaving me utterly bankrupt. Meanwhile, she not only became more beautiful but also landed a high-paying job at a large company, even winning 10 million, currency unspecified, assuming local currency, on a random lottery ticket. I, on the other hand, was struck down by all sorts of misfortunes, my mind in a panicked frenzy, and on my way to work, I was dragged under a large truck, dead on the spot. All of it stemmed from those 3 strands of hair. It turned out my cousin had sought out a master who used dark magic to swap fates. When I woke up again, to my horror, I realized I had returned to the exact day my cousin first asked for my hair. "Lily, could you pluck 3 strands of your hair for me? I'll take both our hairs to Fud temple to pray for blessings and good luck. But it absolutely has asterisk to be yours." The familiar voice rang in my ear, making it hard to believe that I had truly come back to life this time. Looking at the yellow paper packet offered before me, I instinctively recoiled 2 steps. In my previous life, it was this very yellow paper packet that Megan had used to take my 3 strands of hair, causing me to lose everything, even ending up dead with my soul scattered. Seeing me hesitate, a flicker of suspicion crossed Megan's face, but she quickly adopted a tone laced with feigned sobs to question me. "Lily, are you looking down on me? You're this old and still believe in these superstitious methods." Her reddened eyes, brimming with tears, made Daniel, who was standing beside her, feel a pang of sympathy. He immediately stood up, took the small yellow paper packet, and placed it in my hand. "Megan, don't cry. How could Lily look down on you? You're her closest cousin. HMPH, she just thinks about work all day. She's usually quite slow to react." After saying this, he kept glancing at me. Megan quickly interjected, "No, it's not like that. I just admire Lily. She's smart and her career is successful. I know this is superstition, but I just want things to get even better. Lily, don't worry, it definitely won't harm you. Master Chen is very skilled. Many people have prayed for blessings from him, and they've all been effective." I stared coldly at the two performing their little charade in front of me, my heart filled with anger, yet I maintained a radiant smile on my face. "How could I? You're my closest cousin. Don't you think I trust you? It's just 3 strands of hair. Wait a moment, I'll go to the mirror now and carefully choose the 3 most beautiful strands for you." Seeing my cooperative attitude, both of them showed expressions of satisfaction. Before I could even close the bathroom door, the two behind me couldn't restrain themselves and immediately clung to each other. I forced back the nausea, switched my phone to video mode, and began recording the evidence. In my previous life, I had always taken meticulous care of my cousin. Her family was poor, and I shared everything I ate and owned. Megan had been an assistant at a small factory. At that time, she had an opportunity to apply for a position at a large company. Before the exam, she suggested taking my hair to pray for good fortune. Trusting her completely, I didn't hesitate and immediately gave it to her. Just a few days later, I discovered that everything had changed. My job, which I had considered secure, suddenly saw a continuous string of minor errors, causing countless troubles. My once peaceful family also experienced constant bad luck. The house started leaking. My father, unfortunately, suffered a car accident and had to be admitted to the intensive care unit. Compensation, house repairs, and ICU treatment fees were all astronomically high. Before long, all our family's savings were completely depleted. During that time, various worries exhausted me, leaving my mind in disarray. It wasn't until my long-lost fiancé called that, after I tearfully recounted everything, he immediately said, "You've been targeted by someone malicious. Go to Fada Temple and ask a master to change your luck." Tears streamed down my face, and I agreed with Daniel's suggestion, so we made plans to go to the temple together the next day. Upon arriving at the temple gate, I saw Megan, dressed elegantly and beautifully, standing next to Daniel, looking every bit like a real married couple. "My dear cousin, how did you end up like this? Even if work is busy, women should take care of themselves." I clutched the hem of my shirt, wanting to say something, but my throat was choked. Just then, a luxury car worth billions pulled up. Uncle John, dressed in an expensive suit, stepped out and greeted them. I was stunned. "Uncle John, what's going on with you? For over 20 years, your family was so poor you barely had enough to eat, and now you're dressed so luxuriously, driving a fancy car." Megan immediately smirked with satisfaction. My dad, he followed me to find Master Chen to change his fate. That day, he randomly bought a lottery ticket and won the first prize. Today, my dad came to Fud Temple to offer incense money as a vow. "Cousin, I've already helped you make an appointment with Master Chen. This time, he'll definitely help you change your luck for the better." With that, she half pulled, half dragged me into a private room in the temple. According to the master's request, I not only had to write my birth date and time on yellow paper, but also had to take blood from between my eyebrows to complete the full fate-changing ritual. The result was that when I returned, not only did things not improve at all, but my entire being became even slower and more sluggish. Early one morning, rushing to work, I was dragged under a large truck and died on the spot. As for that wretched couple, after shedding a few crocodile tears, they held the wedding that was rightfully mine as if nothing had happened. "Lily, are you done yet?" Megan's sweet voice echoed. I quickly replied, "Wait a moment, I'm choosing the 3 most beautiful strands of hair. You and Daniel wait a bit, okay?" As soon as I finished speaking, I saw through my phone's video feed that the two of them were tightly embracing, kissing and cuddling, occasionally emitting sticky sounds and soft, ambiguous moans. I simply pretended not to see anything, and while no one outside was paying attention, I began to observe my surroundings. Sure enough, in the corner of the cabinet, I found a clump of gray fur. Just as I picked up the fur, intending to put it in the yellow paper packet, someone pounded on the bathroom door. "Lily, what are you doing? Are you still not done? Hurry up," the factory called Megan earlier and told her to go back to work. Though Daniel's voice was urgent, there was a hint of regret in it. All right, I'm putting it in now. You go start the car first, then you can take my cousin back to the factory, okay?" Hearing me, Daniel stopped urging, and after a moment of silence, he stammered, "Lily, that's not good. What if Megan's colleagues misunderstand?" I pretended to be excited and shouted, "Misunderstand what? My cousin isn't your cousin too? Let's see who dares to say anything ridiculous." Hearing me, Daniel no longer hesitated, happily going out to start the car. During that brief moment, I quickly slipped the rat fur into the sealed yellow paper packet and handed it to Megan. Watching her excitedly wave goodbye, I stood by the window, my face devoid of expression, watching the couple embracing and kissing downstairs, my heart completely calm. I clearly remember that in my previous life, on this very day, when Daniel took Megan away, they immediately cut off contact with me. Feeling they had successfully taken my hair, they no longer needed to keep up the pretense. To avoid arousing their suspicion, I followed the events of my previous life. Every day, I pretended to be in a panicked and confused state of mind, while secretly finding someone to inspect the house's waterproofing system, hiring a driver and a housekeeper to take care of my parents, all to prevent the tragedy from repeating itself. Because of this, my parents called to scold me more than once. I simply made up a casual excuse. "No, it's nothing. It's just that I've been watching some scary videos these past few days. If you're healthy, I can work hard and strive with peace of mind." After reassuring my parents, I poured all my energy into work, focusing even more intensely, and finally completed my tasks and passed the day the incident occurred in my previous life. Everything was peaceful and uneventful, and I truly breathed a sigh of relief. During those days, I continued to go to work as usual, and at home, I continued to pretend to be crazy and distraught. Until one day, Daniel accidentally sent me a message. I knew it was time to play my hand. "Dr. Zhang, please take a look. My wife has been growing a lot of hair recently. Now her entire face is covered in gray downy hair. Is this a dermatological condition?" Below it was a picture of Megan's face. Although Daniel quickly retracted the message, I had seen it clearly and even saved the photo. Wasn't that gray downy hair precisely rat fur? Looking at Megan's distressed face in the photo, I almost couldn't help but burst out laughing. I contacted the private investigator I had hired previously and asked them to investigate Uncle John's whereabouts. The detective replied very quickly. From the documents they sent, I learned that Uncle John had been in a car accident on his way home from work on Monday evening and had been admitted to the hospital. Without hesitation, I grabbed a basket of fruit and rushed to the door of his hospital room. Megan, wearing a baseball cap and a mask, saw me and her jaw almost dropped to the floor. "Lily, why are you here?" Seeing Megan's evasive demeanor, I didn't press her for details but walked directly past her to Uncle John's bedside. "Uncle John, why didn't you tell us about your accident? Let me see where you're hurt." With that, I yanked the blanket off his leg, only to find that Uncle John, in the hospital bed, not only had lost a leg, but his facial expression was also far from normal. His head tilted up, mouth twisted, eyes askew, and drool continuously trickled from the corner of his mouth, wetting a large patch. The room was immediately filled with a foul stench. Seeing that I had discovered Uncle John's true condition, Megan seemed a bit flustered, constantly explaining. "My dad, he was hit by a car on Monday on his way home from work. We didn't have enough money for treatment, so we could only choose amputation to save his life. During treatment, they found a brain hemorrhage, and now he's had a stroke, paralyzed on one side. There's nothing else wrong, he just needs to rest." As soon as she finished speaking, as if suddenly remembering something, she immediately stepped forward and grabbed my hand. "Lily, are your parents doing well? Are they uncomfortable anywhere?" Megan's voice was urgent, her eyes full of expectation. I couldn't help but sneer, but verbally I went along with her. "Yes, my dad isn't doing too well either. He's been complaining of dizziness these past few days." "Ah." Hearing me say that, Megan's hand immediately relaxed, and her entire body seemed to shed a heavy burden, muttering, "That's good then, that's good." Megan was busy taking care of Uncle John, and I quietly observed from the side. After only a few days apart, she had changed a lot. Although she always wore a mask, the thick gray fur on her cheeks clearly revealed its original form, her nose and mouth also protruding more and more, giving her a cunning, rat-like appearance. Perhaps my gaze was too intent. Megan quickly noticed something unusual and hurriedly adjusted her hat and mask. "What are you staring at?" I smiled slightly and praised loudly. "Cousin, did you get a facial? Why do I think your face looks smaller and your nose bridge is higher?" Hearing my compliment, Megan couldn't help but smile brightly, but when her eyes swept over me, her smile immediately vanished. "How come you haven't changed at all?" I quickly changed the subject. "Cousin, did the hair you took for blessings last time actually work? Recently, I've felt quite lucky. It seems to be having some effect." Megan looked bewildered but still forced a strained reply. "Really? Is that true, cousin? I don't feel anything at all." Looking at her strained smile, I curved my lips and said softly, "Ah, that's right, I'm so careless. It seems I mistook rat fur for my own hair. It's all my fault for being so foolish. Oh, now that I see you're all right, cousin, I'm relieved." The words had barely left my mouth when Megan's body trembled. She reacted by screaming at me, "What? What did you say? You gave me rat fur? Are you crazy?" She lunged 2 steps towards me, her expression ferocious, and grabbed my collar. Her face was pressed close to mine. I could clearly see the thick gray fur on her skin and her eyes, which had begun to deform. You dared to trick me. Do you want to die?" "No, no. You're going to pluck 3 strands of your hair with your own hands and give them to me right now." I struggled to break free from her grip, but the more I tried, the tighter my clothes felt around me. Just as I was almost suffocating, the hospital room door was kicked open. "Megan, what are you doing? Are you crazy?" Daniel rushed in, grabbing Megan's arm and pulling her away. I fell to the ground due to inertia, and looking up at her face, contorted with rage, my heart was filled with satisfaction. I even wanted to burst out laughing, but I couldn't. It took me a great effort to regulate my breathing. I used the most aggrieved tone I had ever had to cry. "Cousin, you clearly did it unintentionally. Are you really trying to kill me over such a small matter? Besides, it's just for blessings. If it doesn't work this time, we can ask the master again next time, right? And what blessings? I'm a party member, I don't believe in these feudal superstitions." Daniel looked at me blankly, a little suspicious. "How can that be? I clearly saw you plucking hair from your own head then." I pouted aggrievedly. "That day, I saw a clump of rat fur in the corner of the cabinet and was going to clean it up and throw it away. You rushed me then, so I got confused." It was only then that Megan understood why she had been acting so strangely recently. Her face turned purple with anger, her whole body trembling, and she snarled in a low voice, "How could you? How dare you put rat fur in the yellow paper packet? Do you know that doing that will kill me? I don't care, you immediately pluck 3 strands of hair in front of me and put them in the packet." I sobbed, refusing to answer. Why, cousin, I really didn't know. This is just for blessings, just to comfort our minds. How could it harm you? Is there really such a thing as blessings? Before I finished speaking, I turned my head and looked at Daniel with tear-filled eyes. Daniel, what does cousin mean? Do you know? It was only at this moment that Daniel realized he was still holding Megan. He quickly let go, awkwardly explaining, No, it's not like that. I just saw the situation was urgent. I was just afraid she'd hurt you. HMPH, this idiot. One lie exposed countless flaws. I truly didn't know if in my previous life I was too trusting or too stupid to have believed even such a clumsy explanation. Seeing that I didn't respond, Daniel continued to persuade. Lily, no matter what, Megan is your cousin. What you did hurt her feelings. How about this? Consider me a mediator. Now, you pluck 3 strands of hair and give them to Megan, and this matter will be settled. Don't let it affect your sisterly bond. With Daniel as her backing, Megan also became more aggressive. Exactly, that's right, Lily. I'm just angry because you don't take me seriously. How about this? I'll give Daniel face. As long as you give me 3 strands of your hair right now, this matter will be settled. Looking at the wretched couple before me, acting all righteous, I found it only amusing. Did they take me for a fool to be coaxed? Suddenly, from the hospital bed, Uncle John let out a violent fit of coughing, which grew increasingly intense until it turned into dry retching. Megan immediately stood up and offered him a glass of water. Before he could calm down, Uncle John had another heart-wrenching cough, then spat out a large pool of blood. Everyone panicked. Megan hastily tried to run to call a doctor, but before she could leave the room, Uncle John collapsed with a thud, falling straight to the floor, sinking into a coma. My cousins screamed and rushed over. Daniel seemed to forget my existence, quickly stepped forward, embraced her, and softly comforted her. It's all right, it's all right. Seizing the chaos in the hospital room, I turned and left. When I got home, I took a hot shower, then called the landline number my grandmother had given me, Grandma Wang's number in the countryside. I recounted the entire recent story clearly and in detail to Grandma Wang. Unexpectedly, on the other end of the line, she chuckled. What kind of master? Clearly, he's an unscrupulous charlatan, using dark arts to deceive and harm people for money. It's just a few cheap tricks, don't be afraid, just wait. Before I could react, Grandma Wang hung up. I couldn't help but feel a little doubtful, but thinking of Grandma Wang's reputation in the countryside, I decided to trust her this one time. After all, from my grandmother's stories, I had long known of her exploits. She was indeed very effective. After the call, I quickly packed a few changes of clothes, grabbed my suitcase, and checked into a hotel near my company. I originally just wanted to find a quiet place, but unexpectedly, that evening I received a call from the hospital. Hello, are you a family member of Megan and Uncle John? Their condition is not good at the moment. Please come to the hospital immediately. After hanging up, I thought for a long time, then still got dressed and went out. When I arrived at the hospital, it was already in chaos. Megan, her face pale, her head covered in sweat, cried out, "It hurts so much. My stomach, it hurts so much, doctor, it's so painful." Her abdomen was abnormally distended, and looking closely, I could even see a slight movement. After examination, they discovered a nest of baby rats residing in Megan's uterus. Before surgery could even begin, Megan, as if giving birth, delivered a litter of tiny, red, blind rat pups, stunning all the medical staff. Daniel, who had been pretending to be invisible beside her, seeing this scene, hurriedly fled. At the same time, Uncle John's condition also worsened during the night. He was already inconvenienced by his stroke, but that night he became abnormally active, curling up, fearfully hiding in the corner of the wall like a wretched, darkness-loving rat. I suddenly remembered my father's condition in my previous life. Perhaps because of those 3 strands of rat fur, they had swapped fates with rats. Now, this had nothing to do with me. I called Aunt Mary, who was working out of town, to inform her. After everyone arrived at the hospital, I returned to the hotel to rest. After blocking Daniel and Megan's numbers, I lived a remarkably comfortable life. But Daniel's shamelessness still astonished me. In my previous life, I only realized the true face of this parasitic man just before I died. He pursued me only because I was an only child, thinking that marrying me would give him access to my family's assets. After being with me, he discovered that I was a traditional woman, so he conspired with Megan. Now that Megan's family was in a tangled mess, he turned around and came looking for me. Regarding Daniel's shameless harassment, I chose to ignore it. But to continue his parasitic ways, he resorted to unscrupulous methods. That day at the company, I noticed something off in my colleague's eyes. It wasn't until a colleague sent me a live stream link that I understood the reason. On the phone, Daniel's sweaty face was streaked with tears and snot, occasionally blowing 2 snot bubbles. "Lily, I know you're watching. Please, can you give me another chance? I know you despise my family for being poor and my low salary, but I love you, and I will definitely work hard to give you the life you want. I swear, when I get my year-end bonus, I'll buy you the bag you like, okay?" In the comment section, many people were deceived by Daniel's performance, leaving messages one after another. "Oh my God, the female lead is in the live stream room. Quickly look at this man. He's practically sacrificing his life for her. Don't you feel ashamed? This kind of woman is definitely a gold digger, isn't she? Seeing her boyfriend's poor conditions, unable to satisfy her materialistic desires, so she broke up with him. It truly brings shame to us women. What era is this? Men and women are equal. Brother, come here, I don't need much money. As long as you treat me well, that's enough." Comments flooded the livestream screen, each sentence attacking me. The popularity soared, and the audience in the room quickly surpassed 100,000. I watched intently for a long time, finally understanding the root of the story. It turned out that Daniel, that scoundrel, when all his attempts to contact me failed, opened a livestream to play the victim, portraying himself as a poor love warrior who not only used up all his savings for his girlfriend, me, but was also broken up with because he couldn't satisfy my shopping desires. "Lily, please, I truly miss you. Whatever demands you make, I will agree to them. Please, don't break up with me, okay?" Daniel cried miserably. The righteous netizens also dug up my information from small clues. Many even shouted that they wanted to teach me a lesson. I suppressed the urge to roll my eyes, asked my manager for leave, casually found a hotel, opened a live stream, and directly challenged Daniel to a PK battle. On the opposite side, Daniel saw me and immediately put on a deeply affectionate expression. "Lily, have you forgiven me? Let's make up, let's get married." Although his voice was very sincere, I could clearly see the calculation and smugness hidden deep in his eyes. I ignored him, directly posting a screenshot of the joint expense account between Daniel and me during our relationship. Finally, I released the video I had saved, recording Daniel and Megan secretly behind my back. This time, the whole internet exploded. "Oh my God, is this for real? Oh my goodness, what shamelessness. He dared to call his girlfriend a gold digger. He's the real scoundrel, isn't he? This cunning scoundrel dared to deceive all of us." Very quickly, the comment section erupted, but this time the arrows were aimed at Daniel. Daniel was speechless, wanting to explain something but couldn't utter a word for a long time. Looking at his eyes filled with resentment, I gave him a big glare, said nothing, and directly left the live stream. Once I had calmed down, I picked up my phone and dialed a familiar number. "Daniel, you. I was just too angry earlier, that's why. I was just jealous that you were with my cousin. As long as you agree to cut ties with Megan, I'll pretend none of this ever happened, okay?" Daniel's panting immediately subsided after my words. He flattered, "Don't worry, Lily, don't you know me? We've been together for so many years, you clearly know that the person I love most is only you. What does Megan count for? Don't worry, I will absolutely not see her again. From now on, it's just the two of us." I forced back the urge to vomit, tried to use a normal voice to say a few intimate words, then made an excuse to hang up. After all, having been with Daniel for so long, I understood his life and work thoroughly. If I pushed him to a dead end, he really would fight tooth and nail. Wouldn't that be disadvantageous for me? The next day, I went to Daniel's rented apartment under the guise of a date and gave him the peace charm that Grandma Wang had sent me. "This is something I specially prayed for you. If you love me, wear it every day, okay?" Daniel grinned, happily putting it around his neck, and didn't forget to take a picture and post it on his social media feed. "Peace charm specially prayed for by my beloved wife. Love you." I put my phone away, satisfied, and couldn't help but burst out laughing. A few days later, Megan came knocking on my door. Only a few months after our last meeting, Megan had changed a lot. Her previously swollen belly had deflated, replaced by sagging rolls of fat. She looked significantly older. Her glossy black hair was now interspersed with many gray strands, looking less like a woman in her 20s and more like an old woman. This was probably the consequence of the dark magic fate-swapping backfiring. I intended to bypass her and leave, but she blocked me. When she saw that I was completely unaffected, even more radiant than before, she almost collapsed, screaming at me, "Lily, what exactly did you do? Why have I become like this? I know, you're jealous of me, aren't you? You're jealous that I got Daniel's love." At this point, I no longer needed to pretend with her. "Megan, can you be a little less shameless? Being a mistress and still feeling proud? Stealing your cousin's boyfriend, do you even know what shame is anymore? Why do you think I didn't know you intended to harm me?" Megan's face turned crimson, her blackened eyes bulged out, looking terrifying. "What? You knew all along and still pretended to trick me?" I couldn't help but laugh, my voice full of sarcasm. "You see, of course, it's so you pay the price. Look at yourself now, aren't you receiving your karma?" As soon as the words left my mouth, Megan's strained nerves finally snapped. She screamed and lunged towards me, "You wretched bitch, I want you dead." But with her current body, which wobbled with every 3 steps, how could she do anything to me? Before she could get close, I quickly dodged to the side, grabbing her arms from behind. Although I temporarily restrained her, Megan still struggled incessantly. Just as I was still hesitating about how to deal with her, a male voice rang out from a distance. "You scoundrel, why are you looking for Lily?" Daniel ran over, lifting his leg and delivering a powerful kick that sent Megan sprawling. She lay flat on the ground, unconscious, her face full of disbelief. Daniel, what are you doing?" "It's me, Megan, don't you love me the most?" Daniel sneered at her, spitting. "What nonsense are you talking about? Look at your pathetic state and you still say I love you the most. With your current appearance, who would dare to love you? Furthermore, if you hadn't tricked me, saying you'd give me an apartment in the city, how would I have betrayed Lily? HMPH, I investigated. Your family is dirt poor, truly shameless." Megan's eyes widened, provoked by Daniel's words until she gasped for breath, her face purple. "You unfaithful man." A streak of fresh blood trickled from the corner of her mouth, but she didn't care. Instead, she lay flat on the ground, looking up at the sky and laughing loudly. "Ha ha ha, Lily, you won, you truly won. But you also lost, don't you know? Your fiancé once held me right on your bed while you were like a lifeless fish with no emotion, making people lose interest. And Daniel, you scoundrel, do you think after using me, kicking me away is the end of it? I'm telling you, no way. If I can't live, I definitely won't let you live." Megan's words hit Daniel's weak spot. He stepped forward furiously, delivering a flurry of punches and kicks to Megan, cursing nonstop. "You scoundrel, you bitch, you're the scoundrel. You deliberately said those things in front of Lily, didn't you? Do you think if it weren't for Lily, I would accept you? I'm telling you, no way." Perhaps Megan had despaired. Faced with Daniel's beating and curses, she didn't care. Instead, she laughed loudly. The very next second, Megan suddenly counterattacked, pinning Daniel to the ground, pulling a fruit knife from her pocket, and stabbing him straight in the stomach. Very quickly, a large pool of blood spread across the ground. The surrounding onlookers simultaneously let out cries of horror. Megan saw the fresh blood, and far from being afraid, she bent down and gnawed at the stab wound. It was then that I clearly saw Megan's teeth had also changed. Her 2 front teeth had lengthened, gleaming sharply like a rat's fangs. Seeing Daniel had fainted, I seized the moment when no one was paying attention and turned to leave. Actually, I had long predicted Daniel's outcome. After all, what I gave him was no peace charm at all. Originally, I wanted to witness Daniel bringing about his own demise, but perhaps heaven had eyes. Such evil people are not even tolerated by heaven. Their karma was swiftly collected. After the project in my hands was completed, I also successfully seized an opportunity for promotion. I took my annual leave early, intending to visit my parents. As soon as I entered the residential area, I saw a crowd of neighbors gathered around, and in the center, lamenting her misfortunes, was Aunt Mary. "Oh, our family has truly been unlucky this year. Our Megan worked so hard to get a chance at a big company, and now she's gone insane. Don't even mention exams, I have to support her. And him, well, you all know. He was in a car accident, the driver fled and still hasn't been found. He had just stabilized after so much struggle, but these past few days, his condition worsened, and now, he's gone. I'm so exhausted, supporting both the old and the young, relying only on my meager laborer's salary. How am I supposed to live?" I listened to everything from within the crowd. Aunt Mary's words were pitiful, but wasn't all of it the result of Megan's greed? From then on, Daniel and Megan seemed to disappear from my world without a trace. Once, after work, passing by the lottery ticket shop at the company gate, I don't know why, but I, who had no interest in such things, stopped. Remembering Uncle John winning the 10 million prize in my previous life, I decisively walked into the shop and bought a lottery ticket. Unexpectedly, that lottery ticket truly won 10 million. After claiming the prize, I still felt it wasn't real, so I immediately called Grandma Wang, planning to send her some thank you money. But Grandma Wang answered the phone and simply told me, "Those things originally belonged to you. Even if they were temporarily stolen by others, they would return to you in various ways."